I'm the Talking Skull, and this year I'm exploring classic FPS games to draw a path from Wolfenstein 3D to Halo. We've already seen id's meteoric rise with Wolfenstein 3D and Doom, so let's move on to... Wait, what's that? No, really? Come on.
Against all the gremlins that hell can conjure, all the walnuts that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only
Last week I said we would discuss what came after Doom. The answer is... nothing. Remember, Doom was the most advanced 3D game engine in the world. A year after Doom, the only team able to follow up on id's masterpiece was id. Doom 2 would be one full campaign, no more episodes. But otherwise, very little is different under the hood. Carmack used this time to work on a new, even better engine that id would use for a new IP. Without Carmack's attention, Doom 2 would not innovate almost at all. There's a new weapon, a few new enemies, but it's mostly just more Doom. There is a design shift, though. American McGee's early levels are chock full of oppressive hitscan enemies who push you toward tedious playstyles. After American McGee's section, the next several levels are designed for the kind of people who like Lisa and Dark Souls 2. They're all about playing pranks on the player. I mean, just take a look at this. Well, this is a mess. What's hurting me? Oh, good, they teleported behind me. You can't pull one over on me. These walls are obviously gonna drop, and I'll be surrounded. I'm just gonna grab the key and run. Oh. Am I? Can I not get out? Good. Alright, I've got the last key, and I'm invulnerable. I'm just gonna blast through. Whatever's waiting can't hurt me. Oh, come on! I'm stuck again? I'm stuck again. I actually had to take a break at one point, after a cyber demon teleported behind me and killed me. Once you get past about level 10, the encounters tend to be less frustrating, but that's a third of the game. And this music... I'm not a fan. There's not a single track in this game that's as good as even the 4th or 5th best from Doom 1. I know it's blasphemy to speak ill of Doom 2, and I'm sure for fans who put hundreds of hours into these games, Doom 2's edge feels a lot less sharp. But I just did not have as good a time with it as I did with Doom 1. In spite of my complaints, Doom 2 did outsell its predecessor. Actually being available for retail sale meant that Doom 2's reach was much wider. No more shareware and mail order here. id had gone big time. But id weren't the only people working on Doom in 1994. Another of Carmack's innovations was explicit mod support. Impressed with fans hacking Barney into Wolfenstein, Carmack created a whole file system called WADs to separate core engine functionality from content like assets and levels. This meant that anyone could swap the default WAD with their own, full of custom assets, to easily mod the game. On top of that, fans quickly created modding tools to make working with WADs and even tweaking the engine even easier. By the end of 1994, Doom had such a huge modding scene that to this day it is one of the most modded games of all time. All of the WADs I'll be covering released in 1994 or 95, so they either preceded Doom 2 or they were built for Doom 2 within a year of its release. Trying to get these WADs to work today is more of a hassle than you might expect. For one thing, the Steam version isn't easily compatible with WADs. On top of that, WADs are distributed from decrepit file transfer servers. Download FileZilla, ignore those warnings, and sift through these files. Now that you've got your WAD, add some custom command line arguments and hope that they work. One of the first popular Doom WADs, and the mod John Romero has specifically called out as the first Doom WAD that really impressed him, is Doomsday for the UAC, otherwise known as UAC Dead. UAC Dead is a showcase of how much the Doom engine can really do. A far cry from the abstract hellscapes of vanilla Doom, UAC Dead gives us identifiable locations. A parking lot full of toppled shipping trucks, a guard station, brutalist corporate architecture with demons from hell meeting in the conference room. This one room is more atmospheric and aesthetically unique than anything in all of Doom. This WAD feels like a glimpse into a totally different kind of FPS, with a focus on environmental design and storytelling. The first total conversion WAD was Aliens TC, an entire episode adapting the film Aliens into Doom. This mod is remarkable. It's full of new textures, creative reuse of existing assets, and clever solutions to ambitious design goals. Existing enemies and weapons are reskinned in creative ways to create xenomorphs, facehuggers, weapons from the film, and even hatching eggs. Aliens crawl out of false walls and vents. Real sound effects and voice lines are pulled from the film, and the lighting is perfectly tuned to mask the xenomorphs just enough to keep you on edge. Fans of the film will find recognizable locations and story beats everywhere.
Steady, people. Let's finish our sweep. We're still Marines and we got a job to do.
The WAD is also patient, building up tension pretty nicely before plunging you into the depths. And it can be demanding when it turns up the heat. This is a competent survival horror game, and a competent Aliens adaptation, all built by a fan in the Doom engine. Supposedly, it got more discussion in fan forums than Doom 2 did during the week of Doom 2's release. I do wish there was less reliance on mazes. Large facilities with comprehensible layouts allow you to make educated decisions about where you're going, and turn navigation into an interesting challenge. Mazes, on the other hand, prevent the player from making inferences about the structure of the level, so they boil down to trial and error and make backtracking a pain. Maze-like levels can be good here or there for disorienting the player, especially in a horror game. I just wish this WAD didn't have so many of them. Still, for fans of Aliens or anyone looking for a unique survival horror experience, I definitely recommend Aliens TC. Obituary was a collaboration between several developers, and the first Doom 2 WAD on our list. It's basically a full game, with 17 levels and 3 new enemies. Obituary comes with an optional alternate weapons patch that I really wanted to try, but I could never get it to work. There's a link to a fix in Doom World, but that link appears to be dead. But this WAD epitomizes what I don't like about Doom 2. Made by and for Doom 2 fans, Obituary loves to trap, ambush, or otherwise punish the player at every turn. I think this is best illustrated by the addition of the new enemy type, Bazooka Man. Obituary's designers felt that they needed a basic enemy that can be sprinkled throughout the level freely, but still has a rocket launcher and can insta-kill you. It feeds into this idea that first-time players will be save scumming because they'll have to. Where Doom 1 felt fair and balanced for playing through levels beginning to end, Doom 2 and Obituary's large levels and arbitrary deaths will have you save scumming in a real hurry. For fans who prefer Doom 2 over Doom 1, you'll probably love Obituary. It's not poorly put together, it's just not my cup of tea. Memento Mori is another collaborative full-game WOD for Doom 2. With 32 levels, Memento Mori is by far the largest WOD on this list. It's as large as either of the base Doom games. It's also unique for being designed with co-op in mind, and for having a full original soundtrack. This soundtrack is good, too. I'd take it over Doom 2's any day. I quite enjoy this WOD. The early levels showcase some great level design, with good use of central passageways and viewports to make complex floors easy to navigate. The difficulty ramps up nicely, with some harrowing encounters by the mid-game, but rarely includes Doom 2-style death traps. There are a couple of obtuse levels that infuriated me, but these are the exception rather than the rule. Mostly, you get a lot of creative, well-put-together maps that are a lot of fun. For fans craving more classic Doom content, Memento Mori would be my top recommendation. And if you're still not content, there's even a sequel. A WOD specifically crafted for Deathmatch, Dwango 5's collection of fan-made levels are some of the first ever arena shooter maps. Instead of cherry-picking the single-player Doom missions that suck the least for multiplayer, fans could boot up Dwango 5 for more carefully crafted competition. Dwango was more than just a single WOD, though. Dwango was the service by which Doom fans connected to play online before real server hosting existed. Dwango enabled thousands of players on dial-up connections to play remotely in 1994 and 95. Aside from server hosting, Dwango periodically collected compilations of deathmatch WODs from Doom modders, with Dwango 5 being the most famous. I unfortunately haven't had the opportunity to play Dwango 5 myself, but these levels look pretty good. A lot of these designers had a good idea of the basics a deathmatch map needs to facilitate fun. Small, round or boxy maps with lots of disparate interconnected paths and sightlines, littered with different weapons and power-ups. With Doom 2 and WODs, id had entrenched itself as the first-person shooter company. But all this fan-created content heralded the coming of other designers who were eager to take on id's dominance and create their own incarnation of Doom. Next week, we'll play one of the first Doom clones to hit the market, and it comes from a surprisingly familiar face. If this old stuff is interesting to you, check out the rest of my series on classic FPS games. And if there are any you think I should cover, leave a comment so I can see.